Hey everyone, this is Dylan from H2O Escapes, your crew specialist. I am here today with my rep from Virgin Voyages to talk about the Tie the Knot program. So if you want to get married on a Virgin Voyages ship, saying like you want a wedding where there's no kids, adults only, Virgin Voyages is probably the best option you have out there. So what it is if you don't know, you can get married on a cruise ship, kind of like you do at home, or like you can do at destination weddings. You can go on a cruise, right? You can add this on. So now you're kind of doing your honeymoon at the same time. You can do it a smaller wedding, just you, bigger group, right? Or there's a lot of different options for you out there if you want to get married on a cruise ship and do something a little different. So Virgin Voyages, what it is that we do as a team, right? So when you decide to get married on a cruise ship, you reach out to a travel agent, a cruise specialist such as myself, and we're going to be on a team. So there's going to be me, there's going to be the wedding specialist over at Virgin Voyages, and then there's going to be you as the wedding couple. What happens is I'm the one that deals with all the bookings, make sure you guys get down there, and then I advise you as far as what packages and all that. And then Virgin Voyages will give you different options on boards if you do want to do any upgrades. And then yourselves are the ones who are making the decisions, reaching out to your guests, all that fun stuff. So again, my name is Dylan, but we're welcomed here today with our Canadian rep for Virgin Voyages with Sean Russo. So, hi, Sean. How are you doing today?
Good, Dylan. How are you?
Pretty good. Thank you for being here. So it's very much appreciate you agreed to come on, just talk quickly about weddings and the Tie the Knot program, because in my opinion, it is one of the better programs out there for weddings, especially if you want an 18 plus no kids wedding.
Absolutely. I think you know what we've always wanted to get into this space, but we wanted to find the unique way of doing it, right? There's a lot of really amazing options, and when working with a professional like yourself, whether it's a land or other sea experience, you know, you want to know what different options are out there because there's not one like size fits all when it comes to weddings. With Virgin, obviously, as you mentioned, we are an adults only experience, so we're an 18 plus experience. So when you're thinking about getting married, that does change what we would, maybe call a traditional wedding. So, a very traditional wedding would have like a flower girl and a ring boy kind of experience. Obviously, being 18 plus, that's not an option here at Virgin Voyages, but it does allow for a little bit more creativity and fun, and as I'm seeing, friends get married or I'm seeing weddings on like Facebook, Instagram, you have some fun little things like instead of the uh, ring boy, there's like the beer guy, right? Kind of idea and passing beers out as it goes through. So there's a lot of different fun things you can do. So what we did at Virgin Voyages was create what we call tie the knot, which is, it's a double entendre kind of idea because the knot being kind of more of a nautical kind of theme in there. But what you can do with us and working with a travel professional like Dylan over here is to create an experience depending on what you're looking for. So at Virgin Voyages, we have two main kind of platforms when it comes to love. The idea of weddings and eloping, or the idea of vow renewals. So depending on which fits the couple's kind of experience, you can choose one or the other. When you decide from that, what Dylan is going to be able to do is work with our wedding specialist to determine the availability based on what you're looking for. So let's look at, let's say, a wedding. A wedding can be done in three different packages depending on the size of the group joining on the wedding. For instance, if it is just a one person wedding, and I'll leave this little video in the background there. If it's just a a couple wedding, we can do a package just based on two individuals. We also then provide another package for a little bit of a larger group, right? So, and when I say large, just like literally two more people. So if you want, maybe the parents of each of the participants in the wedding to be there, or some best friends or whatever, we can do that. But most people, they're bringing a little bit of an entourage. It's a mix of family and friends around there, and we can do weddings up to 50 people on board our ships.
Yeah. So it's pretty great. And then I don't know if people have seen the video there. So that's one of the biggest locations or the best locations on the ship, the Perch. and you'll see with all the flowers in the background and stuff like that. Do you have information right here on the different levels of options, or
Yeah, absolutely. So from a quick little visual, we can break it down into a little bit more nitty-gritty of what's included. First and foremost, like I said, is tier one, we call it you, me, and the sea. That's the idea where the center of attention is exclusively on the couple that are getting married. And we welcome everyone just like we do on every single one of our ships, whether you're getting married or not. So we will do same-sex marriages, we will do, a traditional opposite sex marriage, whatever the case may be. But tier one is really around the couple as the center of attention. Tier two, as I mentioned before, is up to four guests. So it allows you that opportunity to have, some family members or friends witness that wonderful bond of marriage together in the soulmates set sail package. And the third one, and this I love this
that's a
photo,
great
Dylan,
photo.
is the up to 50 people. And as you mentioned, it's at the perch. Background behind me is the non-wedding setup aspect of it, but this is an example of one of the weddings set up here with a beautiful background of the Mediterranean behind here on here, and that's up to 50 people.
Yeah, that's great. So, and it says what I'll do as a travel agent is I'll make sure that all your guests have whichever rooms they decide, right? And then the bride or groom, of course, you pick whatever you want. You can be close to everyone, further away from everyone, but normally my priority is you, and then everyone else is kind of your guests, and I make sure they're all happy. Sean, were we going to talk about groups today, or do you want me to just mention that quickly?
Yeah, no, you can definitely talk about groups. So w the first component of it really is just the couple. What does the couple want? Because at the end of the day, this is your special day,
Yeah.
right? So determining if it's going to be that intimate experience or you're going to be bringing your family members and friends. Once we've been able, and once Dylan has been able to work with our wedding specialist to do all that, like that pre-planning of what that big day is all about, then we can start looking about getting, your family members or friends on board through the groups program. And that's what Dylan can help you out with right from the get-go.
Yeah, and that's what it is as far as the rooms is concerned. I'm pulling space and locking in the actual prices so you can tell your guests, say, hey, this is how much it's going to cost you. This is how much it is going to come on board. And then also for myself as travel agent, I actually have access to make you a website if you want your own wedding website where people can go on, click in, and sign up for your wedding. I can set that up free as charge if you're booking your wedding with me.
Yeah. And one of the great things about doing a destination wedding as a whole is, sometimes when I've spoken with brides and grooms or just couples in general, is there's sometimes like that fear is like, oh, I don't want to inconvenience or take them away from work or whatever for a week. In reality, the joy of a destination wedding, and specifically on a cruise, is you're just asking your family and friends to commit to that, that hour, that 2 hours, that evening, whatever that experience. The rest of it is a holiday, right? Giving them that chance to. The other positive of looking at a cruise option versus a traditional land-based wedding experience in a destination is you don't need to worry about, the notarization of things because these are what we refer to as more symbolical weddings. You don't have to worry about any blood tests or having legal requirements of being in a country for a certain amount of days before you get married. So it adds a little bit more flexibility as an option of when you actually get married, which is quite nice.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like so even as you said too, your guests are coming on board, like even for cost, right? Like so like I normally a wedding today, I don't even know what a gift is these days, $400 or something. So what
Yeah, my,
happens
my
is
family's always money, so
yeah, so say it's $400 or something as a gift, right? So you tell people, look, if we're going on this cruise, it's going to cost 4,000, 5,000, whatever. They can kind of like put that into the price of the cruise and say, you know what, I'm saving money. I'd rather do this as a vacation plus celebrating your special moment with you. And then also on top of that, like a lot of these weddings these days are 50, 60, 70, $80,000, even paying for your cruise and doing whatever package you decide. If you're just trying to save some money and say, you know what, I would like to invite everyone, but I understand not everyone's going to be able to come. Like you're probably still going to save money over land base if you're staying like anywhere in Canada or wherever,
oh,
in
100%.
my opinion, at least.
No, I think that's fair, right? And you know what, I think, as we progress as a society, the traditional aspect of the wedding, like that big, three, 400 people kind of experience,
Mhm.
is not feasible for everyone and not desirable for everyone else. I'm seeing a lot more people getting married abroad. or getting married very like intimately, like with just, very small group of people. But then getting together locally, to celebrate that love as like a potluck or a fun activity. So it breaks away that traditional aspect of what we've kind of grown up as or under for weddings.
So, and you just mentioned about getting married abroad. So, you did mention off screen about you saw pictures or videos of someone getting married on the ship, but there was like Athens or there was Mykonos or something in the
Yeah,
background.
I just got off our beautiful, resilient lady, and when I went up towards the running track, which is one level technically, I guess, above the perch, there was a wedding happening with the background of Mykonos. So, think about, when you're planning a potential wedding abroad and maybe on a Virgin Voyages with Dylan, is really understanding about not only is it like, is this date or is this time of the year where you want to get married, but maybe what's that background look like, right? So forget the green screens or whatever the case, but you could have some iconic places in the world as your backdrop for your wedding experience.
Yeah, nothing would be more magical than that.
Oh yeah.
Um, Now, do you know are the weddings normally held on sea days, port days, combination of the two?
It's a combination of the two. So our wedding specialist will work with the couple to determine, right? It also depends on the size of the group and then what else might be, already existing in other weddings going on. So just like anything in life, and I know if you're planning a wedding right now, you're planning probably further in advance, is you want to secure, your optimal date and time. Right. But it's not always just outside, right? The perch, I think, is an excellent, excellent opportunity and a nice visual if you want to have people on an outside experience. We also do our weddings indoors as well. So for more smaller weddings, we can do something in like this, what we call the scene, which is a nice intimate room on deck 15. But one of my favorites, I think, if I had to bring a wedding inside, is the wake. And if you haven't seen the wake yet, definitely hit up Dylan to get some visuals on there. But the wake is our elevated steak restaurant and seafood, and it's got a beautiful winding staircase that goes down. And I think it's the most amazing place, to snap a quick photo or to have, one of the couple coming down the stairs as the audience is sitting there awaiting their arrival.
Mhm. Beautiful. And also, in saying that too, so add on, if your magic day is supposed to happen and it ends up being bad weather, they have venues inside as a backup plan.
Absolutely. But you know what? The joy, especially if it's a sea day, the joy of a cruise ship in general is we can move to avoid weather, right? If you are, getting married on like a beach somewhere, you can't move the beach.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of times where you see a storm come in general, and the captain can move the ship even like 10 more minutes away, and it's perfectly clear. So
Yep.
there's a lot of flexibility in choosing like a cruise as a wedding destination or experience than a land-based one.
Yep. Plus, you also have more control of the environment there because, like the last two weddings, I went down destination weddings. The amount of seaweed and stuff that was on the beach, so they're all just raking it away. And during actually my sister's wedding, we did down in Dominican. There was people walking around in the background. They're getting married, and then like the beach is public area, so there's people just walking around. They don't care you're taking photos or they're oblivious. They're just walking around doing their thing. While this area would be kind of only for you and your guests at the time.
100%, right? And it's also around, I mean, we did talk very high level of the three different packages or whatnot, but you can customize it. The couple can customize it as they want. So there are fun, different things that Dylan can help you with, but everything from like the types of flowers or arrangements of those flowers are available to you, all the different types of cakes that talk about your personality and taste preferences. There's things like you can do like a duet singer or solo singers and such like that. There's all sorts of things. There's also the pre and post weddings, whether if you want to have like a spa package as a couple or as individuals. All sorts of fun little things that really create that magical experience for the couple and their guests.
Yeah. I think the one package even includes the Splash and Romance package, which I'm a pretty big fan of. So
Oh yeah, get
everyone,
off board that ship earlier, get that champagne and those the aphrodisiacs that are placed in the room and really create little experiences.
yeah, and start celebrating early. Okay, so Sean, unless there's anything else, I think that is good for today. To everyone watching, thank you very much. If Virgin Voyages wedding is maybe on the future for you, please reach out to me, Dylan at h2oescapes.ca. I'm sure wherever you find this video, there will be some sort of link or connection. So just please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have and talk on how we can make something special happen for you. So again, Sean, thank you. If there's anything else, feel free to add it, but we're good to go.
I just want to say, you know what? Always when you're planning such a monumental day in your life, trust it with a professional, and you're in really great hands with Dylan.
Perfect. Thanks. Let's make ship happen.
Let's do that.
Okay, thank you.